For decades, hundreds of small towns in Spain have been losing inhabitants. Depopulation doesn't happen all at once. It starts when there are no jobs, when shopping means driving for miles, when life becomes more and more complicated. Houses like this are the proof. In 1994, a humble family had to leave this house. There were no luxuries, no modern comforts, just what was necessary for daily life. The lack of work and how difficult it was even to see a doctor made staying no longer an option. Like so many others, they didn't leave by choice, they left because they had no alternative. Since then, no one has lived here again. Everything was left just as they left it, memories of a simple life that stopped more than 30 years ago. Today we're going to enter this house not to make up stories, but to show the reality of a village that's running out of inhabitants. Look at the house we've seen, and let's see if we can go in, because it looks pretty cool. Let's start with the main door. And look at how it is. It's been closed for so many years, just look at all the cobwebs on it. And all the dust. I'll show you the lower part you'll see when you walk in. It would be all of this here. A very humble house, very small as you'll see, but with a lot of details. You can see here, on the first piece of furniture, since it's full of things, they didn't take anything at all. Look, so few people have come in that they haven't really moved anything. Everything is still covered in dust. The rooster up there, these are the figurines that had the partridges. We have to be very careful, because we're in the middle of a village. Look at the guys. In every drawer we open, there's something. Look at the old diving goggles, Grand Festival, the celebrities pretending to be singers, Pepe Sancho. Here's the dog's collar and the chain and everything. Do they have a little dog? The most curious thing I found about the house is this part here, which is like the sink for washing dishes. But it was also the bathroom. I mean, look, there's a sponge there for showering. That's because the shower was right behind here. Look at the entrance, and right here is the bathroom, which even has the toilet paper right there. And there they had the shower, which is now full of furniture. And this here is the washing machine. Look, the stroller. Super cool. This one, I wish it would show up. And the typical bucket for making sandcastles, all the cleaning products I had here, and it's completely intact, you see? Here at the entrance is a bathroom cabinet I'll try to open. Look at its condition. Okay, yes, they had everything from the bathroom here. Look, that looks like waxing wax or something. And right next to the entrance and the sink. So this was their bathroom. A layout I had never seen before. This is the first room that's downstairs. Look, the floor. This part is completely sunken in. Look, there's something in every drawer. I think this was a voltage transformer if I'm not mistaken. An old one. Cool, look here, it's all full of TVs. Look, how curious. The nightstand lamp, since there wasn't a wall socket, they connected it to the top part of the bulb. I'd never seen that before either. It's like an adapter, but for light bulbs, so you can plug something else in. They have toys, look. The typical training wheels from small bikes when they took them off when you learned to ride a bike. And this here? A small storage room. They probably used it to store things and so on. There are a lot of junk. The stove they would keep for the winter was there. We finished looking at this part and now we're going upstairs. There are more things left to see. Look at what they had in the middle of the stairs. A beautiful vase with plastic flowers covered up that they left behind when they left. Everything covered so it wouldn't get ruined, but they never came back. And look, what a cool dining room. So intact, it's beautiful. You don't know how hard it is to find a place like this. Even if it's humble, but it still has absolutely everything. This room is crazy. Notice that in this dining room, they ate and watched television. There's the place to cook, and then here is the fridge. They left the fridge slightly open with a cloth to prevent damage from being closed too long. Do you want to close it? Here was another covered vase, which I'll recover before we leave. The tiles are beautiful, reminiscent of how things used to be made. Look, the lighter is right here and there, a box of matches. To light the fireplace or the stoves they had there. You can tell this was the cooking table, and look at it, all cut up by the knife. Look, knife marks. Look at all the kitchen items and the cutlery. They had everything. They had to adapt to what they had, which wasn't much space, but they adapted pretty well. Here we have another one of the rooms that we'll go to later. We'll leave it for the end. And the furniture is beautiful with the jars here. I'm not sure what they'd store in these jars. I don't know if it was water, oil, I'm not sure. And look, I'm not going to open it because it's pretty hard. We tried before, so it stays closed. So from here, we can already see everything there is. Look, not even a speck of dust has gotten inside. And right back here, they had everything for the kitchen, all the pots, pans, and so on. Even the old sandwich maker. I'm telling you, they managed really, really well with the little space they had. But honestly, you don't really need much more. It's just that now we're used to huge houses and having a lot more comforts. Look at that huge television in color. Well, I don't know if it's in color. I don't think so. It was black and white, I'd swear it. Check it out, all wood. How cool, it looks like there are some. I see you more. And the kitchen, look how they had it. They had it right in the dining room. Look how clean they kept it. How clean they kept everything, even though they knew they were leaving. And look at the oven with the pan inside and the thermometer here. How cool. They left everything covered, including this. We'll put it all back later. There's also a small table here for the family to eat. Look at the painting, how beautiful. Here's another flower vase like before. I won't open this one. All full of details. Check everything, especially the kitchen. From 91? 1991, oh my goodness, it's been abandoned for all these years. It's just that these tiny villages, so far from the cities, have less and less space each time. Look at this calendar from 1994. And in August, they left in August, as we've seen the stove stored away and it's very cold here in winter. How curious, this is the room. This was the other bed, and those two were probably for guests or visitors. And as you can see, it's in very bad structural condition. Look at how this part is. You can tell they didn't use this area since there's no nightstand or anything. They lived in the other part. Look, that whole sideboard is full. And the sight of the cobwebs here after years is amazing. I love this image with all the cobwebs there. Look at how everything is after all these years. Look, the rubber has rotted and a woman used to sleep here. And because of the things she had around here, here's another lamp socket with a plug on top. It's the first time I've noticed one in a house. Look, all of this here is clothing, and see if it looks like a woman's room. Because there's one of those old pads, super big and thick, with all her clothes left there. This was clearly a woman's room. The medicine cabinet. You can hear a lot, the people from the village. Now as we go out, look here, there's more stuff. The mouth game. Or like tobacco and open and everything. And with the lucky cigarette, oh, that's what they say when they put it like that. It's that lucky cigarette, something like that. I don't know what kind of luck smoking is going to give you, but oh well. And here's another one, unopened. He had it kind of hidden, here in this drawer. I used to overlook this little attic. Look, with the closet open there, with all the clothes. And this bed that doesn't even have a mattress or anything. They probably didn't even use this part. Oh, it's incredibly hot here. Look, they had the ironing board here. It's a bad place to iron. It's really hot here. Alright, let's go downstairs and wrap up the video. We've finished seeing the whole house. I really liked it. It's very small, so it'll be a short video, but the amount of details left for such a small house is incredible. We're saying goodbye from this shot here. I hope you liked it, and if you did, give it a like and we'll see you at the next place. See you next time.